It is Saturday night once again, the best day of the week, whether you're a hockey fan or not, but especially if you are a hockey fan. Welcome back to the Corner Prophecies, and I thought I would change it up for the upcoming weeks and upcoming months and probably the rest of the year. I thought instead of making predictions for the whole week ahead, I thought I would do it just for Saturday night, as it is hard to predict games in the future when you don't know how they've done the past week from injuries. It's just kind of a stretch to predict from, say, Saturday to this Friday or next Friday coming up. So I thought I would just change it up to Saturday night, because Saturday is obviously the biggest night in the NHL. So it's exciting. We've got 11 games to preview tonight. We've got my predictions here. We are going to be keeping a running total throughout the whole year. Last week, I'm not going to keep those in the running total just because it was on the spot. I had to run. I only did 5 games, and now we're kind of changing it up just to do Saturday. So next week we will be having a running total and see how I do this week. So if you guys are excited for the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button if you guys enjoyed this video and are looking forward to it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, starting at 1 o'clock, this should be a pretty good game. It's the Buffalo Sabres versus the Vancouver Canucks. The Sabres are led by Jack Eichel, while the Vancouver Canucks are led by Elias Pettersson. The Canucks are 5-4-1 away from home, while the Sabres are 4-2-1 from home. All these records that you do see on the board are going to be the team's away records and their home records, so not their overall record. We were just doing the away and home records. I think it gives you a better idea on how a team's going to perform in that game. So, like I said, Canucks 5-4-1, Sabres 4-2-1. It should be a pretty good game. Sabres most likely starting Carter Hutton, while the Canucks will probably be starting Jacob Markstrom. Neither of these teams played last night, so they should be pretty fresh. I'm going to give it to the Sabres over the Canucks 4-2. I think Eichel should have a pretty big game. Jeff Skinner as well. He's just being on fire. I think he's going to keep it up. I think Elias Pettersson could notch a couple goals here tonight. He's been the only Canuck who's really been producing. Besser has kind of been nowhere to be seen. I'm sure he's going to be picking it up soon, but Pettersson's the only guy that's really been producing lately. I think he'll notch a couple goals, but Carter Hutton's looked pretty good for the Sabres, and I think he's going to keep it up tonight or this afternoon. I'll give this one 4-2 to the Sabres. Okay, the next game, 1 o'clock again, Chicago, Philadelphia. Chicago, not so great lately. The last couple of weeks, it's just been kind of just a tire fire for the Blackhawks, firing their 3-time Stanley Cup winning coach, Joel Quenneville, which again, kind of a controversial move. I wasn't so happy with it, but anyways, that's a different thing altogether. On the ice, the Blackhawks have not looked great. Patrick Kane leads the team, 21 points. The Flyers, Claude Giroux leads them with 19, so both two really big superstars on both teams. Should be pretty exciting. Flyers haven't played that well lately either. They're 3-4-0 at home. I think they have to turn it around soon. I do think they were a bit overrated coming into the season. It does hurt that JVR has been injured. He's only played, I think 2 games, or maybe it was just the 1, but he is injured, so I don't know when he's going to come back. I don't think there's quite a timeline on that, but I do think the Flyers are going to continue to struggle for a little while. Anyways, I have the Blackhawks winning it 3-1. I think this is another 1 o'clock game. This is Nashville versus Dallas. Could be one of the best games of the night. Both teams have had really good starts to the year. The Predators are looking to go 8-0-0 on the road, which would just be insane, while the Stars are looking to improve their home record. It hasn't been bad, 6-2-0, but they could improve on it. Both teams in a playoff spot right now. They're going to look to kind of make some distance up on the wild card race and the Central Division race if you are the Nashville Predators. Ryan Johansson leads the Predators with 15 points, while for the Stars, Tyler Seguin leads it with 16. The Predators have never been a team with like a real superstar forward. Victor Arvidsson is injured, and he has 12 points. I think he's missed the last 5 or 6 games. So he had a great start to the year. That's a big, that definitely hurts if you are the Predators. But they never really had a big superstar forward, and I think the way that they win is just the defense and goaltending. Pecorine will most likely be in, while for the Stars, it should be Ben Bishop. So it should be a really good game. I have the Predators winning it 2-0 over the Stars. But again, this is a real toss-up, and I do think the Predators will advance to 8-0 on the road. The big game of the night, it's hockey night in Canada, Toronto and Boston. This is a game I always look forward to. It's Toronto-Boston, how could you not? But as a Bruins fan, I definitely look forward to it. I am worried at the same time. Toronto is just looking fantastic, even without Austin Matthews. Boston hasn't looked great recently. They've had their ups, they've had their downs, but they're in a wild card position right now. I think this is a big game for Boston, that if they win it, they can prove that, okay, we're not just going to be the third seed in the Atlantic Division. I think if they do win this game, I think it sends a message to a lot of people that, they're not going to be the third seed in the Atlantic. Toronto, same thing. I think between those two teams, this is a big game for the media anyways, as they kind of want to say, okay, Toronto's most likely going to be second, even though it's only one game. I think this is a big game. Obviously, it's going to get a lot of media attention. Bergeron leads the Bruins with 21 points, while for Morgan Riley leads the Leafs with 20. He's on pace for 100 points right now, which is kind of ridiculous. He's obviously going to slow down, but for now, the Leafs are just going to hope he stays hot for as long as possible. Frederik Andersen will not be getting the start tonight, as he did play against New Jersey last night. Garrett Sparks will be getting the call for the Leafs. I don't really understand that decision. I'm kind of surprised they put Andersen in against the Devils instead of the Bruins. But anyways, Yaroslav Halak will be in for the Bruins, as Rask was given a leave of absence from the league. So it should be a very good game. Both teams not playing their starters, but as you can see on the board, I have the Leafs beating the Bruins 3-2 in overtime. This could be a toss-up. Like I said, I do think the Leafs are hotter than the Bruins are right now. Bruins are not looking their best. The top line has looked a bit more human than recently anyways. So it should be a pretty good game. I'm giving the Leafs a 3-2 overtime victory. Return of Max Pacioretty. It's Vegas against Montreal. Pacioretty has had a horrible start to the year. I drafted him in my fantasy league. I thought he was going to have a great year. Unfortunately, only 2 goals to start the year, so it's definitely been a disappointment. Thomas Tatar has 14 points for Montreal, so I guess Vegas is kicking themselves right now. I'm sure Pacioretty is going to pick it up, but he's not been himself recently. As you can see on the board, I've got Montreal winning at 5-3. Antti Niemi is starting for Montreal tonight, while the Golden Knights, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's going to be Marc-Andre Fleury, unless they want to save him tomorrow night for Boston. It should be a good game. I think Montreal is going to get the win. They've looked really good recently, and I'm thinking it's going to go 5-3 Montreal. Ottawa, Tampa Bay. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I've got the Lightning winning at 5-1. The Senators had a good start to the year. Now they've kind of just fallen off a cliff. 1-4-1 away. I'm just going to skip right over this game. Braden Point, anyway, leads the Lightning 19 points. Thomas Chabot leads the Senators 21, which is actually quite the surprise. And they hope he stays hot. I don't think it's going to be the most exciting game. I think the Lightning are just too good right now for the Senators. I think it's going to be 5-1 Tampa Bay. When are the Florida Panthers going to turn things around? Personally, I'm not sure, and I don't think it's going to be tonight. They face the New York Islanders. The Islanders have been quite a surprise to start the year. I think it's not a fluke either. Matthew Barzal, I think last year had many games where he was actually better than Tavares, and he hasn't been fantastic this year. I knew he would have. He's going to take a bit of a dive because of the sophomore jinx. I don't know if you believe in that or not, but it usually happens to most rookies. So I knew Barzal wasn't going to have quite the same year this year, but he still looked really good. Josh Bailey leads the team with, I believe it's 17 points for the Islanders. The Panthers are getting led by Evgeny Dadonov with 14. The Panthers, when I've watched the games, they haven't looked bad. I think it's just been a bit of bad luck to them on their side. But I do have the Islanders winning this one 4-3 in a shootout. I just think it's going to be one of those games. Shootout, it's going to be a skills competition, but we'll see. Arizona-Pittsburgh. This Pittsburgh has just not looked good recently. I think they're on a 5-game losing streak. I think in their last, 2 games, they were outscored 10-1. So it's not been quite the ideal start for the Penguins. But I think we're starting to get away from the start. It's not like a couple games ago, it's like, yeah, maybe it was just a hot start for this team. But now we're starting to get into the main part of the season, and the Penguins just haven't really been able to turn things around. They're sitting 22nd in the NHL, while the Coyotes are actually ahead of them. They're looking okay right now. I think this should be a big game for the Coyotes. Clayton Keller needs to pick things up, and I think he will. He's only got 11 points. Evgeny Malkin is leading the Penguins with 20 points. I don't know if he's playing tonight. I know that he was in danger of getting suspended, but I haven't checked up on that recently, so I don't know if he's playing tonight. I believe he is, but I think the Coyotes are going to win this one 5-2. Detroit, Carolina. I think there's always that one game that kind of just like gets thrown to the side every night, and I think it's Detroit, Carolina. No offense to Detroit and Carolina fans, but this is kind of like just one of those games. It's probably not going to be that exciting. Carolina is a very exciting team, but when you do go up against a team like Detroit, it's kind of hard to bring your energy. I think the Hurricanes are going to get this one 4-1. Jimmy Howard should be in net, while Scott Darling should be in net for the Hurricanes. Sebastian Aho has kind of cooled down recently, still has 18 points, so a very good start to the season for him, while the Red Wings are being led by Dylan Larkin. So it should be an okay game, but I don't think it's going to be one of the most exciting games. I do have the Hurricanes winning it 4-1 though. 2 more games to go. I think I have to pick it up now. We're already at 14 minutes. But the New York Rangers and the Columbus Blue Jackets, this should be a good game. I'm looking forward to this one. I'll probably tune into it a good amount. I have the Blue Jackets winning it 4-3 in overtime. The Rangers are 2-4-1 away from home. Blue Jackets 4-4-0. So the Blue Jackets actually lead the Metropolitan Division as well, which kind of surprised me today. The Metropolitan Division only has the Blue Jackets, who are leading the Metropolitan Division, only have 1 more point than the Bruins, who are in this first wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. So kind of funny how that works. I think the Atlantic Division is the stronger division this year, but the Blue Jackets have had a good start to the season. I think it is going to continue here against the Rangers. The Rangers, the games that they've lost, they've actually been in it as well. It's been close games, but I think the Blue Jackets are just overall the better team. The addition of Seth Jones coming back from injury has just helped them a lot, and I do have the Blue Jackets winning it 4-3 in overtime. A final game of the night. This could be the biggest blowout of the night as well, in my opinion. The Calgary Flames versus the Los Angeles Kings. This is the second part of Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Calgary will most likely be starting Mike Smith, while the Kings start Campbell. Jonathan Quick that's just been a sad story. He hasn't been able to play at all this year, and that's definitely hurt the Kings. Kovalchuk leads the Kings, which I actually didn't realize until looking into it today. He's got 14 points, so he's leading the Kings. I think they're happy with that contract right now. The Flames are actually tied. Johnny Gaudreau, Matthew Tkachuk are tied for points. So the the Flames are actually having a lot of spread out scoring. They have a lot of players over 10 points, unlike a team like Boston where they've got a lot of top heavy scoring. But I have the Flames winning at 5-0 here. I think guys like Gaudreau, Tkachuk, Monahan, Lindholm are all going to have big games. And I don't know. I don't know what's happened with the Kings just yet. I know they fired the coach already early in the season. They haven't had much from a guy like Drew Doughty or Anze Kopitar. I don't know where he's been. So the Kings I think they're last in the NHL right now, or tied with the Panthers. So it hasn't been a great start to the Kings for the Kings season. I don't think it's going to get any better this year. I've got the Flames winning it 5-0. That's going to be it, everybody, for the second episode of the Corner Prophecies. As you can see, we do have the scores here as well. These are kind of just things that I wanted to show you how close I think the game will be. If Arizona beats the Penguins 4-2, I'm still going to give myself the point for that. I just wanted to put the scores as well, just so you guys know how close I think the game is going to be. That's going to be it for the video, guys. I'm excited for tonight's games. I have a game myself today that I got to run to as well. So I'm going to edit up this video and then post it. I hope you guys all enjoyed. There'll be another video tomorrow as well, so stay tuned for that one. Enjoy Hockey Night in Canada, everybody. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.